First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Good evening and welcome to First at 5 from WUFT News. I'm Jacob Sedesse.
And I'm Mistie Webb. Thanks for joining us.
A father has been arrested in connection with the shooting deaths of his teen daughter and 3 other people in a Brevard County home.
We go right to WUFT's Chris Will, who joins us now to shed light on what happened.
Yeah, that's right, guys. A 4-page affidavit was released earlier this morning by the Brevard County Sheriff's Office breaking down the sequence of events from the early morning hours of Wednesday, March 1st. It starts at the time a Ring camera picked up the suspect's car to the moment the father of the victim and the prime suspect was picked up by law enforcement. Officials say 36-year-old Domenico Gigante went to this home in Canavero Groves and shot and killed his 15-year-old daughter, Kiara Terwilliger, 35-year-old Constance Terwilliger, 63-year-old Glenda Terwilliger, and 36-year-old Michael Watson were all shot and killed. 2 children, ages 6 and 9, were also inside the home, but were unharmed. One of the children video called Constance's boyfriend, who rushed to the home and called 911 to report the shootings. The Brevard County Sheriff says Gigante used to be in a relationship with Constance. The affidavit states that Gigante's roommate asked him if he did it, to which the statement says he told his roommate that he shot his daughter 3 times after previously sharing frustration with the family situation. Gigante was taken into custody late Wednesday afternoon. Gigante faces 4 counts of premeditated first-degree murder and is currently being held without bond. His first appearance was scheduled for today. He will return to court for his arraignment at the end of the month.
Thanks, Chris. We turn to the threat of a severe weather outbreak in the Deep South.
Will it reach Florida? WUFT's Julia Haley joins us now with our first look at the forecast.
Misty, Jacob, currently tracking that chance for severe storms all over the south. Now they are making their way toward our area. You will see that chance for showers, majority on Saturday. So if you want your last chance for sun, you do want to go out on Friday. Right now, currently seeing those sunny skies. Temperatures currently sitting in the 80s. Those southwesterly winds helping to bring the heat to our area. And outside of our studio, currently seeing almost not a cloud in sight. 82 degrees with some southwesterly winds in our area. Now for the rest of your evening, we are starting in the upper 70s with some clouds, but we are dropping into the mid 60s with that chance for fog for your morning forecast. So if you are going to work early in the morning, you do want to take those precautions. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. If you've been struggling to afford your insulin or even skimping on it, you're finally getting a break. Drug maker Eli Lilly will now cap the cost at $35 a month. Basically, everyone, even the uninsured, will get the price cap recently passed for Medicare patients. The American Diabetes Association applauded the move, saying other manufacturers should do the same. And UF Health is joining a national effort to improve patients' outcomes. 42 health systems nationwide are teaming up with the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute. UF Health says it expects research results that will change the practice of clinical care.
A local animal sanctuary has been receiving pushback because it's refusing to take more animals. Critter Creek Animal Sanctuary holds over 200 animals, including cows, pigs, and donkeys. Currently, the sanctuary is at max capacity. The sanctuary is having to turn animals away and has been the victim of online harassment as a result. Critter Creek wanted to raise awareness about the issue.
But it's just been so much lately, and not only with us, but with so many other sanctuaries. They were like, you know what, we kind of need to bring this to light.
These messages have left Critter Creek officials feeling emotionally blackmailed. If you want to help, you can donate on their website at crittercreekfarmsanctuary.org.
City of Gainesville buses will continue to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, all thanks to funding from the state and federal government. City commissioners today accepted a $1.2 million grant from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the purchase of 4 electric models, which will replace 4 diesel buses. The additional $2.8 million to complete the purchase will be provided by the Federal Transit Administration. The city says the new buses will join 4 battery electric buses already in the city's fleet. They can travel up to 200 miles per charge, require less maintenance, and will improve Gainesville's air quality. In local business news, Luke's Bagels is going on its 4th year of business in Gainesville.
WUFT's Ashley Weinstein grabbed herself a bagel and some intel about a potential expansion. Ashley.
Jacob, Misty, I wanted to know more about how the shop plans to grow. Luke's Bagels, located just off Main Street in downtown, always draws a crowd. I came by today to talk to the owner and to also try one of the bagels myself and see just how they were able to thrive so much despite any social constrictions. Let's taste this right now. Before I let you know how it tastes, let me share my order. Asiago, toasted, egg and cheese, salt and pepper. This part is crucial, sriracha on the side. And I'm not the only person that sees their bagel order as a serious matter.
I get the same thing every time, everything bagel with cream cheese.
I get a sesame bagel with the onion and chive cream cheese, and then I usually add a hash brown.
On the sandwich or on the side?
On the sandwich.
On the sandwich, yeah.
I get the lox sandwich. Hi. Can I get the lox sandwich, please? With salmon, cream cheese, and capers.
Luke's Bagels is a popular place in Gainesville. The shop continues to thrive despite opening during the COVID-19 pandemic. The owner, Luke, initially wanted to attend med school, but ended up going the business route. 4 years later, he's welcoming an expansion.
I think year 3, year 4 is like about the time where like if a business doesn't grow, you become stagnant.
UF students are some of the shop's biggest bagel fans.
It's been a staple of my week. I come here every Thursday morning. I'm deep into marathon training, so I usually run over here. Yeah, so and I get a bagel, I relax for a little bit, and I head home.
Every weekend in March, Luke will test a second location. He's interested in finding out if a different side of the community wants a bite of his bagel business. Back to my bagel.
I can't lie, I've eaten these before. They're so good.
Good enough to keep a line until sellout. There are 3 national holidays related to bagels.
Thanks, Ashley. Misty, I'm a little embarrassed. I've lived in Gainesville so long and I haven't been to Luke's Bagels. You said earlier you have been?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's so amazing. I'm kind of craving one right now.
You're gonna have to take me. We might go after the show.
I will so soon.
Anyway, you know I'm the space guy here. I hope you know I was tuned into the SpaceX launch. Coming up after the break, we'll be telling you all about the Crew 6 mission that went up just overnight after its 2nd launch attempt. Stay tuned.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. A Spirit Airlines flight made an emergency landing in Jacksonville after a battery fire in the overhead bin. This video shows the concern by everyone on board as smoke began to fill the cabin. The flight had departed from Dallas and was headed to Orlando. A retired firefighter who happened to be on board helped the crew deal with the emergency. The plane was able to land safely by diverting to Jacksonville, though 10 people needed a minor care at the hospital. The discovery of explosives disrupted a flight from Pennsylvania to Orlando Sanford Airport. TSA found the material hidden in a checked bag. According to court documents, the suitcase belongs to Mark Muffley, who was caught on security cameras leaving the airport after TSA agents paged him. The FBI arrested him without incident.
The NASA and SpaceX Crew 6 mission is on its way to the International Space Station, a success. NBC's Scott Heidler was there for liftoff on its 2nd launch attempt.
The pre-launch checks and routines not only went very smoothly, but because Crew 6 and the ground crews just went through the process on Monday, at some points they were ahead of schedule.
1, engines full power, and liftoff of Crew 6. Go Dragon, go Falcon.
Cutting through the night sky at the Kennedy Space Center, a Falcon 9 rocket carrying Crew Dragon Endeavour lifted off as planned at 12:34 a.m. On board the crew of 4 from 3 countries.
Stage 1 throttle down.
Just before the launch, shrouded in vapor as the tanks in the Falcon 9 were filled with supercooled propellant in the humid air, then came a thank you between the crews, both those going to space and those who got them there.
We wish you a great mission. Good luck. Godspeed, and enjoy the ride.
And thanks again to everyone out there who made the vehicle, the ISS, our mission, and our crew ready for launch.
Like on the scrubbed attempt Monday, Crew 6, after donning their pressure suits, said goodbye again to family, fellow astronauts, and NASA leadership. Then traveled to Launch Pad 39A in 2 Tesla Model X's, a 20-minute drive.
You know, it's awesome to fly in space. It's awesome to be a part of the research and the science.
Crew 6 is commanded by veteran NASA astronaut Stephen Bowen. The rest of the crew all on their first space mission. NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg is the pilot, joined by Russian cosmonaut Andrei Fedyev. And from the United Arab Emirates, astronaut Sultan Al-Nayadi will make history as the first from his country to go to the ISS on a long-term mission.
I think we are ready physically, mentally, and technically.
While the weather at the launch complex was near perfect, there was some concern about the conditions downrange, but it remained within the limits, proving to be a perfect night to fly up to low Earth orbit.
Thank you for flying SpaceX.
Now in orbit, Crew 6 is catching up to the International Space Station, scheduled to dock early Friday morning to begin its 6-month mission on station. At the Kennedy Space Center, I'm Scott Heidler for NBC News. Now back to you.
I know I sound like a broken record at this point talking about Artemis, but I still can't get that image out of my head when I watch launches like that. It's so cool to see astronauts on board this time. And I know seeing the propellant filling in the humid air with the vapor pulling out, Julia, it reminded me of the weather. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about after the break?
Yeah, well, that SpaceX launch did happen at the perfect time, but we are seeing some storms make their way through the area toward the end of the week. I'll track your end of the week storms coming up. In California, the governor declares a state of emergency for more than a dozen counties hit by the heavy snowfall. One area measured more than 9 feet over the last 10 days. A fire destroyed one home near Lake Arrowhead and was delayed in reaching any kind of help due to the high values of snow in the area. Now, around the Sierra Nevada, seeing those high values in California and throughout the east as we move eastward to about Utah as well, that snow lasting throughout this evening and even into tomorrow. But really what we're tracking is the severe storms throughout this upcoming weekend due to this front hitting our area. Now, we do have some warnings in Texas due to this low pressure system, which we'll talk about just a little bit later. Now you see Dallas, Texas. Now we have Memphis and Nashville, some areas that may be influenced by these intense winds and also this low pressure system. This means that you do want to stay inside if you know anyone who lives in these areas, especially because there is that chance for tornadoes and even severe thunderstorms. For tomorrow, for your Friday, we here in Gainesville and even around Jacksonville, around I-10, seeing that chance for those heavy storms to continue. So around the afternoon, even into the evening, that chance for storms is going to last. Now we do have that cold front arriving, and this means that our temperatures are dropping as we're currently seeing. So you see kind of a divide in temperature where we have those showers happening, especially in Alabama and around Atlanta. But temperatures currently here in Gainesville sitting in the 80s and the upper 70s, those southwesterly winds helping to move the warm air toward our area. And for this evening, you do want to get your sun while you still can. It's going to be sunny and cloudy. Those temperatures are going to drop into the low 60s with that chance for patchy fog forming in the morning. Those lows staying in the low 60s, fog staying throughout the morning, especially around 4 a.m. where visibility is going to be close to 0. So you want to take those precautions when you're getting out, maybe if you're going to your job or anywhere that requires you to wake up early. So for Friday, staying in the 80s before that cold front hits our area. We do have a wind advisory in effect for north central Florida with wind gusts up to 44 miles per hour here in Gainesville. So you definitely want to stay inside, bring anything that you have indoors that may be affected by this cold front, but that advisory is going to wane away by the evening. Now we have this cold front pushing through Gainesville, getting that first round of showers around the morning, so Saturday around 8 a.m. and then Saturday afternoon, that second round of showers as this cold front keeps pushing through, but by Sunday, sunny once again. Now for your weekend, seeing that chance for showers last, temperatures dropping, but then rising again for your Sunday. And for your 6-day outlook, fog for your Friday, patchy fog, staying in the 80s for your Saturday, dropping due to that cold front, and seeing that chance for showers. Sunday starting to rise once again with those sunny skies back into the mid 80s. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. Gators baseball was defeated last night by the Jacksonville Dolphins.
For more, we're joined now by WUFT's Bradley Shimel. Bradley, what can you tell us?
That's right, Misty. Florida baseball suffered their second loss of the season last night. I'll be talking all about that and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
I'm Bradley Shimel. Let's talk sports. 2 nights ago, Florida baseball dominated Jacksonville 18-8 and tied their season high with 17 hits. Last night was a different story. The number 6 ranked Gators were defeated at home 10-8 by the Jacksonville Dolphins in a back-and-forth affair. Florida clung to a 5-3 lead until things got ugly in the 6th inning as the Dolphins drove in 6 runs. Despite a late comeback, the Gators were unable to overcome the deficit as they suffered their second loss of the season. Florida walked 11 batters and hit 3 during this game, something that head coach Kevin O'Sullivan said will not win them many games. They'll look to bounce back fast as they prepare for a 3-game series with number 25 Miami this weekend. It's been a tremendous season for Gator women's gymnastics, but they'll have their biggest test yet tomorrow night. The number 2 ranked Florida women's gymnastics team will face number 1 Oklahoma tomorrow. This is the 23rd meeting between the top 2 ranked teams in dual meet action since 1995. Florida has been involved in 6 of the last 10 meets featuring the top 2 teams since 2007. Florida head coach Jenny Rowland says the team is looking forward to this heavyweight matchup.
It's always a great opportunity to compete against Oklahoma, especially on their home floor in Norman. It's going to be a very energetic, lots of passion, lots of energy in the Lloyd Noble Arena.
At 9 p.m. in Norman, Oklahoma. The fallout continues after yesterday's scuffle during the Gator women's basketball team's loss to Kentucky in the SEC tournament. Florida was eliminated from the SEC tournament after losing 72-57 in a game highlighted by a fight and 22-minute delay that ensued. Kentucky snapped a 7-game losing streak with the win and will face number 6 Alabama tonight. As for the Gators, they're hoping to be invited to the National Invitational Tournament. The Gators are now 16-15 on the year. The high school boys basketball Class 1A state playoffs continued last night, with Hawthorne falling to Chipley and Williston defeating Franklin County. The Devils defeated the Seahawks 54-37 to advance to the state championship game. Williston is now 1 win away from capturing the first state title in program history. They'll be facing Chipley, who managed to squeeze past Hawthorne in a 49-46 victory. Tip-off for the state championship game is set for 7 p.m. And finally, it was quite a scene today at the Wrights Union where the University of Florida held its first ever sports symposium. Students and members of the Gator community packed a sold-out event featuring distinguished alumni of the College of Journalism and Communications. Washington Commanders Senior Vice President of Media and Content Julie Donaldson and Fox Sports NFL sideline reporter Christina Pink were among other industry professionals who spoke with students about the future of sports media and communication industry.
Thanks, Bradley. Speaking of sports, I think we got one last story for today.
I'm ready for this one. That's right, Misty. Parrots invaded a college women's softball game right here in Florida. Here's the story as only CNN's Jeannie Moose could tell it.
They took the field, causing a flap.
There are multiple parrots on the field.
2 to be exact, delighting.
Just gorgeous birds.
And freaking out the women's softball players at the University of Central Florida's field, causing an umpire to duck.
Rain delay, yes, but parrot delay?
That's absolutely a first.
Chad Steers was the home plate umpire.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh!
When one of the parrots made a home on his shoulder.
I felt the wind from the wings and a gasp from the crowd.
Let's go to the replay.
Oh.
One just landed on the umpires.
Chad was so unfazed, he pretended to put on his mask as if to resume the game with a parrot on him. When he tried to touch the bird, the parrot retreated to the other shoulder. Who are these mystery birds?
Tiki's the one who eventually got tired and decided to land on the umpire.
Megan Brown owns Tiki and Lilu. She was letting them fly free behind the stadium. They always come back.
Hi, baby.
During our interview, the parrots dislodged her glasses, attacked the lens and pecked it,
Hi, Lilu.
and perched on Megan's head. She says she's a little surprised Tiki didn't nip the umpire when he touched him at the feisty age of 8 months.
He's normally kind of a
But Chad loved Tiki.
It was just a great moment.
After about half a minute, one of the grounds crew lured the bird to him and escorted Tiki out. The umpire's co-workers teased him.
And this is sitting on my desk, you know.
Who cares about calling balls and strikes when you're the target of a bird strike? Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Sorry, that's just too good.
I've definitely seen plenty of rain delays at games, but a parrot delay? That's a new one.
Speaking of rain, Julia, before we go, can we get one last look at the weather?
Well, you know, I've never forecast a parrot delay before, but I do have your evening forecast for you. Currently seeing those sunny skies outside, and those sunny skies are going to last just a little bit longer as those clouds roll in, those lows dropping into the low 60s, fog for your Friday morning, and that cold front is going to move through, bringing showers into your Saturday, rising up back into the mid 80s throughout the rest of the week. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.